I love this episode. I forgot how much I did actually. I thought, looking back, when I first watched this, I think in middle school or high school, I never really remembered this episode that much, but rewatching it, I was like, oh, this is a very important episode, actually. And it's
Hmm.
really good. We learn a lot. We learned a lot about Aang and these characters in general. We see a lot. This is Aang really overcoming his impatience and his
Yeah,
childness. And it's childnessness, I guess. I don't
childlike
know.
qualities.
Childlike
His
qualities. Thank you.
yeah, his like he's just very like you were saying, just impatient. Like he's not wanting to wait at all. So it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot here. I feel like this like middle, I guess we're towards the like end sort of this season now, but like the middle-ish part of the season, I'd forgotten a lot of the like finer details in these episodes. Like I
Yeah.
thinking about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is the one where that happens. But then like actually sitting down and rewatching, I'm like, oh, okay, like yeah, this is really important. There's a lot of like
Mm.
meat here. Again, we've said it a lot, but I'm always impressed with how much they're able to pack into like 22-minute episodes. Like
Yes. And
there's a
imply,
lot.
even with just like one little line or a little offshoot or something in the background, you're like, it's it's all connected. This whole world is so deep. And I like this episode a lot too for the lore that we learn. Even about
Yeah,
Zhao. I love Admiral Zhao. I read this rewatch. I'm like, I think he's one of my favorite characters. I gotta be
he's
honest.
great. The Zhao lore that we get here is fantastic, and it also like it
Yeah.
fleshes him out a lot. And you're like, oh, okay, I understand you more now. Not necessarily like in a like, oh yeah, you're great, but in a like, okay, I
He's
see
a
the
good
kind of
villain. I love a
like
good
yeah,
villain.
I see the
Yeah.
kind of person that you are. Like
Hmm.
but yeah, so this episode opens with the gang looking at like information post that's on a path.
Hmm.
They see a poster for a Fire Days food festival, which again, there's also a joke that Sokka makes where he's like, "Is there a menu on there?" Like, because he's always trying to find some food. Um, so Aang
But it's
says
also
that
it's like a good. It makes a point too, where it's like they need
they need,
food.
yeah, they
That's why they're
always
stopping.
every episode just opens with them needing food, which is hilarious. It's a great
It's
constant through
great.
line. So Aang says it's a good idea to go so that he can see some people practicing
Hmm.
firebending. There's wanted posters of Aang and the Blue Spirit, and some
Hmm.
other people on the post that are like the camera lingers on it. It's like, ooh, this is probably going to be important later.
Like you might
um,
want to remember this.
yeah, so I love that they're like, oh, we'll wear disguises and it'll be fine. And I love how like cool both Sokka and Katara look whenever they like
And
put
they're
their
like
hoods over and
capes.
like yeah, and they're like all mysterious and stuff. And then Aang just like pulls his like his
Shirt up. I
yeah,
don't
he's
even know
just
what it
like
was.
yeah,
And
it's
he's like
great
hunched
and
over because it doesn't fit.
yeah, it's hilarious,
Oh,
honestly.
Aang.
And then they tell Appa and Momo to hide out in the bushes, like whenever they go out. And like Momo obviously is able to fit inside the little bush, and then Appa just moves and like squats down, and it's the cutest thing. Like,
They really leaned into Appa's cuteness, I feel like, in the later half of this season. They were
mhm.
like, no, he's cute, and we need to really ham it up more.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
thank you. Thank you, animators, for doing that, because Appa's
It's
so
so
cute.
good. And he literally seems like you have seen pets do that, where they're like, "Well, I can't see you. You
They're like, it's
definitely
like
can't see
always,
me."
he reminds me of like a Bernese mountain dog or something. One of those like big dogs that are just, they have the temperament of a little mouse or something. You
They
know what I
think
mean?
they're
Like they
so
think they're
small.
so tiny and
Yeah,
they're so sweet and like so gentle. Oh, this makes
it's
me
great.
rewatching this. I want an Appa plushie. Guys, I think I'm gonna invest.
Just get a life size one. Just get
A
it too
life
big for
size
your house.
one next to my map.
um, yeah, but so they're hiding, and then the gang walks into the festival. I love the way the festival looks. It looks awesome.
Yes.
Like it's just such again, like we were saying, it's such a great setting and like just animated so well. You really can like feel that there's a festival going on, which is super cool. You get them getting the masks from this one vendor because they like look around. And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, where can we? I love it. There's again just great like comedic bits. They're like, oh, where are we gonna find these masks? And then the dude's like Fire
Get
Nation
your
mask. They're
masks
like,
right
yeah, he's like, get
here.
your mask over here. And it's like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, that was
It's
easy.
such a good classic bit. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great.
that.
So
And in
they,
this festival, they really show up their Chinese inspiration here for the Fire Nation.
hmm
They have the Chinese dragon puppets that passes by and all these masks. I think in some of my research have been inspired from ancient Chinese masks. It was
yeah,
something the same as the blue spirit mask that was inspired
was
by.
also inspired, but yeah, which totally makes
Yeah.
sense. And I love that they always find a way, like whatever they can, to integrate that into
Hmm.
the show. It's great to see.
It's
Um,
so beautiful.
So they each get masks. Sokka goes to the food booth because, of course, he's looking for food. He gets flaming fire flakes and eats them, and then is like, "Oh my god, these are hot." And Katara is like, "Ah, flaming fire flakes,
Who
and
would
they're
have
hot."
thought?
Imagine that. Um, so we get a like propaganda puppet show, which is pretty cool to see. I love
I
that
did
they
love that.
also have the Fire Lord breathing fire out of his mouth for it. It's so funny.
It's
Like,
so funny that, and he obliterates the Earth Kingdom guy puppet.
oh yeah,
It's
just
so great.
absolutely destroys.
And I do
And
love that they show
then
that there is like these people are being brainwashed into thinking that
yeah,
Fire Lord
it's
Ozai is
the
the
guy,
one and only. Yeah, it's almost
which I
like
mean,
very
like,
reminiscent of like today, like North Korea or something, how they think of Kim Jong Un or
yeah,
something. It's very,
he's like, I'm the
he's
best,
a
and
god.
I'm
Yeah.
absolutely the best, and
And
there's no
everybody's like,
question
kill
about
your
it. And you're like, okay.
enemies. Yay.
But so we get that. We get a firebender performance that's kind of like a magic show, essentially, where he's just like showing off and doing different tricks and
Mhm.
stuff with firebending, which is cool to see. I like his outfit a lot. The like white and then like red with the Fire Nation.
Yes.
Like it just looks. I'm a sucker for a good outfit. So like I'm just like yeah, he
We
looks
do love
cool.
good costume
And so he's
design.
yeah, and so he's doing that. He says that he needs a volunteer. Aang wants to volunteer, but then Katara ends up getting picked, and Aang is like, "Oh, I wish that was me." And so he's doing this trick where he's got this flaming dragon, and he fakes the flaming dragon is going to attack her, and he's going to like pretend to tame it in order to save her. But then Aang, which is so funny, it's such a like kid thing, and not understanding that it's like part of the performance, is like, "No, I have to
Yeah.
like save her." And like jumps in and uses airbending against the dragon, which it's incredibly animated. It looks so cool whenever he
Yes.
uses the airbending against it, and like it all like dissipates and stuff, and like it
And
just
then it
looks
flows up
awesome.
and it's confetti. And I
Yeah.
love that so much.
And I love the guy being like, "What are you trying to upstage me, kid?" Like, which is just great. Someone, of course, notices that he's the Avatar because, like, duh. And so
Mhm.
then they're forced to try to escape. And this guy who we've seen in background shots that's kind of been watching them is like, "Quick,
Mhm.
like, follow me. Like, I can get you out of here." Which I love how quickly the gang is like, "All right, like,
Like, sure, I
because
guess we'll follow this guy. Yeah.
yeah, they're like, yeah, whatever." And so they run with him. Aang then uses the whistle to try to get Appa to come to them.
Mhm.
So as they're running away, he's using smoke bombs and stuff. The random stranger is using the smoke bombs and stuff to kind of help them escape and
Mhm.
navigate. They get trapped in a corner, but thankfully Appa shows up because the whistle works.
Swoops in
And
and saves the day.
yeah,
Mhm.
I love his tail attack that he uses against the Fire Nation soldiers
Yes.
too. Like he flies down, and like I also love they like really animated his legs whenever he goes in for that landing. I don't know if you noticed it, but like they
No, I
fully
gotta
like
go
stretch
back and look at that.
they fully like stretch out and like do a whole like it's a really thorough animation of him landing in that alley and like turning and like landing down, and then his tail like slamming against the ground and throwing them back. It's really cool,
I
honestly.
gotta
Like
look back at that. Because I
it's
do
good.
love when they really like those little scenes. You're like, they took a couple days on that. Hey, Aspect listener. Enjoying the show?
Then be sure to subscribe here on The Aspect so you never miss an episode.
And check out more episodes and clips on our playlist here.
Thanks so much for watching, and
Lamio Hot Man.